tank things a little, and then give the vision so you can get a follow-up stun with a DK or something like that.
That's absolutely fair. RNG, they get rid of the Mars themselves now. IG yet to make their fifth
Mhm.
ban out. What do you think about the opening support duo though? Like is that a smart way to go about it? Like the opening with both your supports in the first two picks? I've always kind of thought that was a bit
Uh,
detrimental.
I'm a big believer in the fact that I do think that there's value in trying to keep a support pick until a little later on, if possible, because I do think some of uh, there are some niche supports, but they can be really, really good counter picks in the right situations. Like I think a hero like Disruptor is a great example, where if you pick him against the right cores, against these really mobile and your Queen of Pains and your pucks and whatnot, he like that hero can just completely win you the game all by himself. But it's
Yeah.
not a hero that you're necessarily always going to first phase. So I think you do give away a lot of flexibility, but I think that's also where these two supports kind of come in a little bit for IG, because I think the Rubik and the Enchantress have a pretty similar impact in their lanes, almost no matter what lane they're up against. So
Yeah.
I think they've kind of hedged for that a little.
No, fair enough. IG, we see the Ursa coming out. Of course, RNG, they do respond with the Queen of Pain. You just kind of brought that up. Uh,
Yeah.
Two very strong pickups, but if I'm completely honest right now, I look at RNG's draft and there's so many things to have to deal with already. So many overpowered kind of heroes in this current meta. It scares me a little bit for IG.
Yeah, their lanes are really nasty, and their lanes are really nasty just by kind of sitting there and not really having to do anything all that interesting. I feel like for IG, for them to win the early game, it's much more about potentially getting off successful rotations. Maybe the Enchantress finds a nice creep and is able to kind of impact the lane that way. But if yeah, this is such a laning focused draft
Yeah.
from RNG. They have these heroes are such nuisances in the lanes, especially.
I mean, right now it just looks like IG win none of the lanes. Like maybe the lane with the Enchantress, you could make that argument that she doesn't really
Mm.
lose lanes either, but up against the DK, up against the Quap, up against the Bane Pos 5, it's very, very difficult, and even the Clinks, of course, is a real pain in the butt. Like,
Yeah.
I just kind of wonder how they're going to, not necessarily win this game out, but how they're going to deal with this laning stage, IG.
Yeah, so they pick the puck. It looks like an all right game for puck, and I think the immediate thing that comes to mind is okay, the puck is a winning matchup against the Quap, but I don't think RNG are really going to even let that matchup happen. The one thing to be a little bit afraid of for IG is that the slow on enchant is pretty ridiculous, and you combine that with the Ursa, you can put out a lot of damage. But if it's something like a Clink's Quap has the dual offlane, that's just an insane amount of harassment
That it
on
is.
whatever the lane ends up being for IG.
We'll see the final ban out IG. They ban the Troll Warlord RNG. Yet to
Mhm.
make their final ban, and they get rid of the Necrophos. And is that going
Okay.
to mean a Spectre pick? Yes, it is.
Yeah, there you go. Very good call. So RNG kind of taking. I think when you've got these like extreme lane winners, like the Clinks, the Quap, and the Bane, you can really it makes it a little easier to get away with something like this Spectre. And this hero is just overall looked so strong currently. If you give it enough room to farm, just completely takes over the game. Ursa with a lot of items can, I think, go toe to toe with the spec, and that's a big reason why I think we've been seeing the Ursa so much. Is that with this Battle Fury build, you can be one of the hardest carries in the entire game, but the laning stage is so tough this game
Yeah.
that I don't know if he's going to be really on the same pace. But we'll have to see. The spec does also slow down the lineup a little bit for RNG, so could be that the lanes go really well, but then come the mid game, we start seeing all of these movements around the map from IG. They've got a pretty good early Roche as well with like the Enchantress and the Ursa, so that's something that you really have to watch out for if you're on the RNG side. That they could kind of snowball the game off of that. But for IG, I guess they're just looking for their offlaner now. They could also pick a mid potentially.
Hmm.
Um,
I don't know though.
not sure.
Like you might want to get another offlaner here to deal with that Spectre. It's like the Like,
Yeah.
you would have loved the Necrophos. That's obviously gone. Like,
Yeah.
what else deals with the Spectre very easily?
I mean, I've seen people play like Slardar to bully a Spectre in lane. Just these really, kind of really strong melee offlaners. Uh, Other options for IG here would be to try and get some kind of. They don't have the best aggro tri lane in the world, but they could try and get some kind of an aggro tri going. But they just don't have any way to guarantee the side lane and the mid matchups. And so they're just going to go for a tide. But I have not seen this hero be even remotely successful as of late. So we'll see how it works out this game.
Yeah, neither have I have to agree with you on that final point as well with that tide. It just I haven't seen it win, and it
No.
seems to be kind of based on the fact that you don't really do anything unless Ravage is available. Like in the mid game, you might be able to
Yeah.
farm really well with Anchor Smash. You reduce a bit of damage and a bit of armor with Gush, whatever else. But really, like once the Ravage is on cooldown, you're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, the cooldown is just so long, and it's I think it's pretty difficult to use effectively. Um, and if you're constantly spending all of this time this game waiting for the Ravage, then you are just kind of playing towards the late game. I don't think it's guaranteed necessarily that RNG have the better late game, like I was saying just before. I
Yeah.
do think that, Ursa these days isn't really a hero that falls off necessarily. Of course, Tide in like the ultra late game can get really scary, but I just feel like if the game goes long, and I don't think IG are in a position where they can end it super fast. I feel like I am favoring RNG a little bit, and I just like their lanes so much. I think their lanes are great.
No, I'd have to agree with you on that. I'm kind of on the same page here, but we'll see how it all turns out. It is game one of a best of three.
Mm-hmm.
And Basskip, I got to ask you. I mean, we had a bit of chat in the Twitch chat earlier on about Spectre builds.
Yeah.
Someone was questioning the reasoning behind the Necro book, and I was kind of, I did explain it earlier on in the last series, but I was kind of wanted your take on it. The Spectre Necro build. You a big fan of that?
I've seen it work really well. I have the same mindset about it as like previous iterations of Midas, where like if you get it fast enough, it seems to be really good. I've also seen people just do the Soul Ring and like still get pretty comparable Radiance timings. So I don't think it really accelerates your overall timing that much, but like the stats on the item and just the auras are generally pretty useful. And I think we all know about Necrobook in this meta. It farms really fast. It does a lot of DPS. You can really just send it off to go and kill creeps for you. Camps that you otherwise wouldn't feel safe to farm necessarily.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's already got the build up. He's already got it queued. So
Yeah.
we're going to be seeing it this game.
There you go. Not surprising at all.
No.
I must say, it's really not. I got to tell you, Basket, I really can't wait till this meta's over and the new patch comes out. Like
I'm looking forward to the patch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of sickening now, right? Like every game is decided at the 10-minute mark. The game finishes in 25 minutes. There's units everywhere, just running it up your high ground, taking down your towers. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's. I was looking back over some of the patch changes, and I understand the intent behind the changes that they made with regards to like adding more tower damage, adding more tower armor. But I think all that ended up doing is making the push heroes and like the zoo heroes more important because
Quite
you
literally.
needed those heroes to take over the map.
Yeah, I mean, and that's quite
Yeah.
literally what happened. That's the exact same thing I was saying the other day. Is just you just kind of made them more important now.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that had the intended effect of like slowing the game down. I do think that we definitely need the economy changes. That seems to be the most important thing because it's just it doesn't seem like you can lose a lead anymore, right? I don't want the big rubber band back that we had before, where you would be 15k ahead and you would lose one fight, and all of a sudden you'd be 10k behind. I think that's dumb.
Yeah.
But we definitely need to find the middle ground a little bit because with the way that the economy currently works, it puts so much emphasis on the lanes and so much emphasis on the early game, and you win your lanes, you take those early objectives, and you can just put yourself in a position where you're constantly harnessing all of the outpost experience, you're getting the bounties, and they're just kind of propelling your lead further and further and further. I really dislike that high ground doesn't even really feel relevant anymore.
It doesn't.
Pro teams don't even bother going high ground anymore, right? You trap the enemy team in their base, and then you farm a 40k lead, and then you end the game. So we have all of these games that feel like they're over at 10, 15 minutes, but then they go on for 35, 40.
Yeah.
Just because and it's the right play to make. I'm not begrudging the teams for making this play. I just wish that the patch was such that wasn't the right play to make. Right? But there's no reward for high grounding currently.
If I'll be completely honest, it's just boring as hell, right? Like, because you force them into the base, you've got them trapped into that base, and then you're farming. You've got the whole map. You can farm and escalate to your heart's content, and the other team can try and sneak out, but most of the time they just end up dying straight away, and you just get back to farming until you can actually push high ground. It's just not a good way to end these games.
Yeah, it is a little bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah.
We still get some nice team fights, and I still think we see some interesting stuff. The one thing I will say is that I feel like outside of maybe like the heroes that synergize really, really well with Dominator and Necrobook, we're in a pretty good place currently, hero balance wise. There are some heroes that I think have been sidelined a little bit, but I'm still seeing the meta developing, right? I'm starting to see Brewmaster all of a sudden kind of start to make a few appearances here and there in the pro scene and pubs, and like that hero just wasn't a thing all that recently. So yeah, it's not too bad, but of course I'm looking forward to everything being shaken up. That's part of the fun of Dota, right? That's why we all play, is that the game's kind of always fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta agree that the meta just keeps changing slowly but surely. It does somehow keep changing. But I really do look forward to those patches. Why is everyone disconnecting?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no!
We were like, oh, let's go, and now we've got 4 people DC'd.
Oh great. Well, now RNG is disconnecting as well. I don't know what's happened. I don't believe there's a problem in lobby. Maybe there is.
Well, that's all of.
That's all of IG.
Yeah, it's all of IG gone.
Did we miss something in chat? Like,
I don't believe the admin said anything.
No, it's just they're speaking in Mandarin and.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I guess we'll keep an eye on the Discord and stuff as well. Maybe there'll be.
True.
Well, I guess you're in the Discord. I'm not in the Discord.
Don't worry, I've got it up. All
right, nice. Like to the rescue.
But they haven't said anything.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure what's happening here, but there's another. Look, if there's 10 disconnects, then
okay, all right.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you, Mr. Admin.
That's what we needed to see.
I suppose we'll have to be right back then, right? Like we just.
Yeah, I guess so. Probably easiest to just send it to a break, especially if the teams are having some issues.
All right, well, it is MLP Dota and Basskip, and we'll be back in probably about 2 minutes to start this game properly. We'll see you then. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are back with our brand new lobby and our brand new game. Never fret, it is going to be the same drafts from both teams. I saw some people in the Twitch chat actually a bit afraid that the drafts had changed Basskip, but that is not the case.
Alright, I don't know why they would be afraid of that, but sure.
Right. I guess when you bet on anything, you're just afraid that if something changes, your bet might be invalid.
Oh, we got some IG aggression here, looking to start the game off on the right foot.
Smoke straight away as 5. Gonna head down towards that bot lane, down the river. In fact, no, they're pinging that little kind of staircase there, and so they're gonna loop around here to the other bounty rune, it seems.
Yeah, I think hoping to just hopefully catch Setsu, maybe snagging the bounty room from behind or something. But...
I like it. IG, we'll see what they can get done. They're gonna break their smoke. Super will see it straight away, but the orb is out. Flywin could be targeted here, and perhaps he just has to go for that level 1 blink right now as they're getting pretty close. There's that gush coming in, and he does get the blink and eventually does go back towards his tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I think he wanted to see the commitment of like the lift or... it's probably the best situation for IG that they only end up skilling Gush to force the blink away. Because a lot of their other skills, I don't think they really... Like, Rubik really does not want to get lift to level 1, but...
That's fair.
The battle begins.
They'll just get those banner runes up at the bot lane. Of course, the top lane, they'll still find 2 banner runes for the side of RNG anyway. But even without that lift being skilled up on the Rubik, you'd still call that a bit of a win. Like, the level 1 blink is really not the way you want to go for Flywin's Quap, right? Like, you'd rather, of course, the Shadow Strike.
Yeah, 100%. I think he definitely wants the Shadow Strike instead, so have to be pretty happy with that if your IG makes the Ursa's laning stage a little bit more tolerable. And it's not like he's geared up with a ton of regen here, so I think Fly's mentality going into this lane is that they're looking to maybe find a lot of trades. Because, yeah, he's just going straight in here onto September.
I love it, September. He's in big trouble right now, and he might actually just be dead. They have the Orb of Venom slow as well on Fly, and that will be first blood going out to Ollie on the side of IG. I love the aggression.
Yeah, that's really nice. I think that's kind of the way that they have to play this lane, because otherwise the Quap's just going to be daggering, the Clinks is constantly going to be auto-attacking with the Searing Arrows, and you're just going to lose all of your regen. So you really have to commit.
See if they can maybe make it happen again in a minute or two. Ollie, he does have the enchant back up, and he'd love to go for it. In fact, he'll commit it onto Flywin. Flywin won't commit his own blink yet, but will just take the harass off that enchantress. I suppose if you're RNG, you're just waiting to get a few levels up before you can actually start being aggressive yourself now.
Yeah, they definitely need kind of the level 2 a little bit more than IG do. So just gonna have to play this kind of defensively for the moment.
Plus mid lane as well, we have Emo versus Setsu, the DK versus Puck matchup. Doesn't really seem to favor either hero here. It just kind of feels like they're just gonna be trading farm on that DK Puck. I imagine that's going to be the case anyway.
Yeah, this is a mega boring lane. I don't think we should really check in here too much. I don't really think that the Dragon Knight has much kill potential on the Puck, and kind of vice versa.
In that case, top lane then. Super on the Bane, going to be there up against, well, with Monet. They're going to be up against JT and Kaka. Not necessarily going to be much kills here either, but it is kind of hard to lane up against Rubik Tide, to be fair.
Yeah, it's super obnoxious to try and get any CS, especially when you're under the tower and you've got Anchor Smash and Fade Bolt on you. But
we're going to go on to Super a bit with the Gush there, but just threatening Super, not to get too close. But now JT's going to be chased up. Monet wants to try and go for this. Nightmare's going to be out. Super just going to be able to secure at least the kill for Monet. And, well, JT maybe underestimating what they can do at these early levels on the Spec Bane.
The Bane is a really nasty laning hero, and he doesn't have a point in the Kraken Shell just yet, so he is actually pretty squishy overall.
Be careful not to die again. He just TP'd back in, but for now, Super's going to try after Kaka. Just getting that harass out. Monet doesn't have the mana for the dagger anyway. Or actually,
just forces TP at bottom. Fly's low.
He is. You're right, though. salve up on that Ursa, and he'll be perfectly fine. Still RNG starting to apply that pressure in the bot lane as well now, it seems, and this is to be expected, unfortunately for the side of IG. This is kind of how this is going to pan out, it seems. So Flyfly even going to just go for the pull himself now on that large camp, and
he just getting gone on a top. He might just be dead.
That Rubik. Monet wanting to chase, lift up is there, but they got the Nightmare off, and Super's going to do the exact same thing. Just wait it out. In fact, he'll take the kill this time around, but you're more than happy with that if you're RNG.
Yeah, they're having a fantastic time up top, and it's going to be nice timely Necro for Monet, so he's really happy with that. And a lot of pressure on IG to kind of just make plays with the heroes that they do have. This puck's definitely going to have to rotate, and we're trying to help out Emo a little bit. Kaka coming in with a quick bottle refill.
It's very nice indeed. Of course, Setsu did end up getting that first power rune, the double damage. And Emo not going to really be able to capitalize with that later on. In fact, Setsu just rushing forward onto that puck, trying to get a few hits in. Can't quite get there. And I suppose it's one of those mid matchups. I know it's still a very boring matchup, but it is one of those mid matchups where power runes don't really matter as much. Like, it doesn't really determine who wins the lane between these two.
It does, it does obviously impact it a little bit. But I think the main dynamic to talk about here is that Emo, seeing the way that the other lanes are going, definitely, I think, wants to be able to rotate and help a little bit. But if he ever leaves the lane, Setsu's just going to take his tower. So, kind of tough situation from that perspective. He's sort of stuck
top lane
up against the Dragon Knight.
JT, again, going to be chased down a little bit on that tide, but Kaka does come in, commits the Fade Bolt, and will force them to back off. It's going to be even more of a concern. Like, you talked about the fact that Emo can't rotate without giving up something. But then you don't really want to allow Monet to keep farming like this on the Spectre. He's just getting way too much free farm, and now JT, he's going to try onto Super on that Bane, but there's the Nightmare coming out again. They'll take it off JT, but it won't matter. Super's already salving up, and now September will TP in as well on the Clinks, and they really don't like this Tide Hunter. There's going to be another dagger coming out, now the Searing Arrows as well. I believe the Tide may be okay here, as they won't be able to Brain Sap. And that is going to be the case. In fact, Emo has shown up now. Lift is there with a 3-man Dream Coil coming out. Emo, can he capitalize all the way? He definitely can. Getting Monet on the Spectre, and he should also be able to kill off this Bane being played by Super.
Alright, that was just a super goofy play from RNG. They rotate their Clinks up, but he doesn't have the Death Pact already running, so he didn't have the extra armor reduction that they probably needed to finish off that kill, and then yeah, they lose their winning safe lane to the puck rotation.
Surprisingly enough, like, Setsu didn't really get much damage off in that tier 1 either in that time he had. Like, he had the dragon form, he committed it, but he just wasn't able to get near the tier 1 to actually get any damage out.
Yeah, I think the Enchantress actually came over and held the mid lane for a little bit while Emo was off making that play. So nicely done, and Oli's actually been jungling up quite a bit here. Flyfly's pretty low at bottom, but
he just went for a dive underneath the tier 1 tower, going after that quap, but Flyone ended up TPing, rather blinking away, and Flyfly took a few tier 1 tower hits on his way out.
And it seems like he's just kind of walking back to base at this point, so that does kind of hurt him a little bit overall. And Dream Coil's back up, so Emo probably itching to make a play somewhere if possible, but they're not the easiest to force things necessarily. Just gonna keep on farming for now.
Yeah, you got those tier 1 items up. He'll just try and collect those while he can. Getting a bit unlucky with the mango tree as the first item, I suppose, but maybe he gets lucky now, farming those neutrals, trying to find something else. Still, it does allow the DK to just keep doing what he does best in mid lane. Setsu will pop the dragon form and starts forcing that tier 1 tower in again, and Emo will be forced to return back towards that mid lane and try to make sure that tower is going to remain safe. However, bot lane, Flyfly, I thought he made a jump there onto Flyone, and he did. He pops the Enrage, going after this Queen of Pain, but she'll blink away. September now shows up on the Clinks, and again, he took quite a bit of tier 1 tower hits there. They might turn this here onto Flyfly. He's all alone. They know he doesn't have that ultimate. It's just a matter of whether Flyone can afford to leave this creep wave, and he probably can't, but he does get the Shadow Strike off. Now Firefly jumping into the Clinks, but there's that Sonic Wave coming out on Firefly. Yeah, that Enrage usage doesn't pay off.
No. So the only bright spot there for IG is that September didn't have the Death Pact available, so no damage, no reset for him. Emo trying to make the counterplay a little bit, but doesn't have any detection, so can't really do anything down here.
Just kind of get back to farming for the puck, I suppose. And well, while he's doing that, Monet has finished a pre-9-minute Necro book on the Spectre. This is when things get a bit silly for the Spectre now. It's just the farm really starts to escalate, and I kind of wonder, what item build do you think he goes for this game?
I think he can get away with just going for the Radiance. I don't think there's an insane incentive to go like the Mantu Diffuse or anything like that. And I think he's just based on the the game that his team is having, he should have long enough to kind of go for the most greedy build, because DK is having a great time. He's just kind of going an early item with the armlet, and the Quap's doing just fine. As soon as they open up the map a little bit, she'll really be able to start shoving out these lanes and creating space, just kind of split pushing. So shouldn't be an issue.
That it shouldn't. Of course, we do see another Necro book now. JT just picks one up casually for himself. If you can afford to at a reasonable time, why not? And bot lane, looks like Emo's going to try and go onto Flyone, but Flyone, he's kind of just safe within his tier 1 tower, so now instead they'll try for September. Problem is September already got the outpost. So they do lose that XP, and now Ollie, he'll just turn around trying to go after this Enchantress. They do eventually take him out. But the Clinks for the outpost XP, I don't think you mind that.
Oh, I think September is more than happy with that trade that he just forced.
Setsu gonna jump in on Emo. It's a fair bit of damage off. Setsu, he wants to keep chasing. No, he already got the tier 1 tower mid. They're finding so much here on the side of RNG. Doesn't really need to try and chase down for that puck kill. And RNG, I mean, it was a bit of a rocky start, but I'd say they're on their way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. I think you can also see here just why people prioritize the Dragon Knight as much as they do, right? He was the first overall pick of the entire draft, so IG had every opportunity to counterpick him if they wanted to, and they either didn't feel like it was worth the hassle or just didn't really feel like they really could within the confines of their draft. And Setsu is having an amazing game. Number 1 on net worth, is already taken the mid tower, so he's just chilling.
Interesting though that he's going for the armlet, right? Like, we're used to kind of seeing the braces into the blink dagger for the initiation. He's going for the armlet build on the DK, which I can't say I see very often these days in the current meta.
Yeah, this is a little surprising. I guess it's a little old school. I feel like in general people have moved away from the armlet just to try and, because the armlet does, I think, reduce your survivability that you're getting from Dragon's Blood quite a lot, but there also isn't an insane amount of damage on the IG side necessarily. So I think that might be what he's looking at here as how much survivability do I really need? Maybe I can afford to just go for this armlet as a really effective fighting and damage item this game.
That's fair enough. Well, both teams are just trading tier 1 towers, and well, both will get away with it, of course. Neither one really trying to defend. We do have September just constantly kind of stalking Firefly here on this Ursa. He's been sitting there for about a minute watching this Ursa just farm away in the neutrals, and now the rest of his team is finally here, though Firefly seems to be very well aware that something is awry, and he'll back out.
He did a really good job of kind of pretending that he didn't have a ward there for a little bit. So he only backed out at like the last possible moment, because if he'd started moving earlier, then they would have been really obvious.
Yeah. September now going up towards that top lane does take the creep off Ollie, and if they can't get the Ursa, they're going to smoke into the whole side of IG and see if they can take a big team fight, it seems. You've got Flyone already prepared on the Queen of Pain. They just need to have some form of initiation. That's the real problem, it seems. They don't really have that on the side of RNG. They're just kind of chasing them down, but they're unable to just lock one down. And well, Setsu now, he'll scout them out with that smoke. But you can't really stun into 3, but I believe he would have seen that.
Well, they have a ward as well, So
Right.
they know full well that this smoke is coming, and they're just trying to decide if they want to fight.
Dream Coil, Sonic Wave being committed straight off the bat. Emo's still going onto that quad, but now Sonic Wave being stolen, but a great Fiend's Grip onto that puck. Ravage is also pretty nice, but it's too late. They've lost Emo on the puck, and now JT, he's going to try and make a run for it. He's really not that tanky though at the moment, but RNG are a bit afraid of Firefly it seems, and they will back off.
So they reset, but I really don't think that that's too bad for RNG. They got the Ravage out, so now they've got a pretty big window. Even if they don't have the Sonic Wave for a while, that they can probably still look to make some kind of a play. Or they're gonna, even if they wanted to wait for all their cooldowns, they can quite easily wait for cooldowns and then still have a window before Ravage is available again.
That's fair. JT will just take the time as well while he doesn't have that Ravage. He'll just keep farming up with that Necro Book. It'll be back up in a few seconds. Speaking of Necro Books, Monet is building into a Manta style, it seems, on this Spectre. So not actually opting for the greedy build.
Yeah, it does seem like he's just gonna kind of go for the slightly more active, slightly more aggressive build. I do think that the one thing that this gives them a little more of, which I do like, is the potential to steal Roshan away a little earlier, because they've already taken the mid-tier 1, and they do have the minus armor from the Clinks, so with just a little bit more damage, which the Manta on Spectre provides a ton of, I think if they win a good fight, then they can use that Manta to go and take Roshan for themselves. And there is a big threat with the Gush and the Ursa and everything that IG could get their Rosh pretty easily off of a single one-team fight.
That's very fair. Emo, nice dust there. Just realizing the boundary rune was taken up that top rune spot, and now September forced to try and fight back, but he can't, and he will break the link that will mean Emo will secure the kill on the Clinks. Still, I mean, you got the bounty though, right? Like, you may not care.
Probably less worth than the outpost. They've got a Fiend Script ready for bottom. Super just going to try and walk up and go for it.
Gets the Enrage off, but it's just not going to matter. The duration is not actually that long once Enrage is there. And now Emo actually jumping in, but the Sonic Wave going to secure the kill there on the Ursa. And now the Nightmare just trying to delay things out. Super, he'll keep running. Flyone may need to join him, but I believe Super is fine.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. Good rotation. He was in position right as the Fiend Script came back off cooldown, so I think maybe catching Ursa off guard a little there. And, oh, they're looking at Setsu, but they don't have a Dream Coil, so it's nothing that they can really do to him here.
They're going to jump in. Nightmare out from Super. You still get the orb off though, as the Nightmare was taken by Ollie, but now Ollie's going to have to die for this. He does have the untouchable slow. Whether it's enough though, or maybe with that Sonic Wave, it will be Kaka trying to turn around here. Dream Coil, however, it did not connect, but it won't matter. They'll jump in now with Flyone, trying to turn this one back around, but here comes JT, and he does have the Ravage. Super, well, he knows he's going to die here on the Bane. He'll just try and drag this out. In fact, he might even find a courier if he's lucky, but no, he's going to get trapped up in this tree line and will eventually just die to Fly. There was a messy engagement to say the least, but IG, they do come out on top.
Yeah, RNG kind of overestimating how quickly they could kill the Enchantress there. I think maybe not realizing that Oli already had like full Vitality booster and everything picked up. He is just straight rushing Vessel as the #1 priority here.
That's not really something you see every day, the Vessel rush after a stick, but why not?
Well, this is what I was talking about, this constant threat from IG to make this play, and especially good when they get the kill on the enemy mid, don't have to use the Ravage, so they're just going to walk on in.
That they will.
There is a haunt.
There is, and Flyone will scout this out with his Necro units as well. Now Roshan very, very low. September's going to rotate over. There's Super. There's that Ravage being committed now. You've got the Fiend Script, but you've lost Flyone on that Quap, and they do jump onto the Bane, but they're going after that Roshan Monet. He jumps in the pin, and he does get it. He snatches it away from the side of IG, and he may die for this, or maybe not. He haunts out. September will be the one to die. But at least, I suppose you deny the Aegis away from IG.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure how worth that is, though. Because they didn't get the last hit, and they lost 3 heroes. But sure, you didn't give away the Aegis.
It's questionable.
Yeah, not certain about that one.
No. Mid lane, Setsu gonna blink in now with his brand new blink, by the way, getting a stun off Fly, but there's so many IG heroes. A decent Sonic Wave is out, but Setsu, can you survive this much damage from Fly? He can't. He might at least enable a trade, and he does. And RNG, do they want to keep going? Not really. Looks like they're just gonna sit back and trust the Monet to keep farming up.
All right, I think that's pretty nice. I think that's pretty important for RNG to still hold on to this mid tower for a little longer.
Super. Dream Coil does come out, catching the Bane. Again, Fiend's Grip is still there, and he does commit straight away. They used the lift on the Quap instead, so they couldn't stop that Fiend's Grip. And now, well, they'll just Nightmare up JT and chase Holly. Nobody's going to take the Nightmare off, and well, the TP's there, but will it be in time? It will be! Oh boy.
He was like getting chunked, the Wisp were healing him, he got chunked again. Just made it out. Dagger chasing him all the way across the map.
My goodness. Still, that does still remain a 1k net worth lead here for IG, so they are still holding on to that net worth lead. I do still have some pretty big concerns, though, about how fast Monet is farming right now. For the sake of IG, like he's 9k net worth. Gonna have that Manta completed and going straight into the Diffusal. I don't know. The Ursa obviously does pretty well up against the Spectre, but does it do good enough if he's farming this well?
Yeah, I think that only applies if the net worths are somewhat comparable. So if the Spectre just continues to pull further and further ahead, which he probably will, given the item builds, then I don't think it's really going to be Ursa able to counter Spectre all that much, or go toe-to-toe with Spectre in the later stages.
I didn't even realize, by the way, Bass, but Kaka has Fiend's Grip up. He actually stole it.
He stole it in the last fight, but didn't find a good opportunity to really use it since the fight was pretty over. So if they could get a good smoke going or something here.
Emo, Dream Coil, that's a big target. It's a great way to use this Fiend's Grip, and they do commit straight away. How do you help out the Spectre now? Well, they'll put him in the Nightmare. Super trying to help the best he can, but Monet's still in trouble. Still trying to run. He will lose the Aegis. Flyone now looking to try and turn around back onto JT. They'll get the net off on JT, but he's still a fairly tanky target now. Even has the mech up on that Tide, so you've got to be a little bit careful about the turn potential from IG. And ultimately, it looks like both teams will just decide better of it. They just get out.
Yeah, a very weird engagement. Neither team really wanted to force it. IG, the tower is not that relevant for them on bot, and they're super hesitant about using the Ravage without any commitment from RNG, and RNG just having to respect the Ravage at the same time. Big cross-map smoke from RNG, though. This is a little unexpected. I don't think if you're Fly, you're expecting RNG to make this play.
You wouldn't be, no. September. Going to take the front lines with that skeletal walk, and of course we'll spot out Fly, and now they just blink in with the stun, with the Fiend's Grip, just commit everything. It's all worth it if it means the Ursa dies. And well, mid lane, they're starting another little team fight here. They've caught out that Quap. Emo should be able to secure this kill, but Monet is there to try and turn around and help. Can he, though? Who do you go after? They'll try for JT, but he is way too tanky. Still, Ursa for a Quap. Guess you're still satisfied if you're RNG.
Yeah, well, okay, RNG will finally end up denying this mid-tier 1 tower. Quap actually had mech, but just couldn't quite get it off in the duration of the stun. So did end up dropping. Could have maybe survived if she'd managed to get that off. But you know, still very even on the net worth, just kind of getting passed back and forth. But you know, still the big concern is the Spectre keeps on farming. Tide is #1 on net worth for his team, but again, I'm just not so certain about the impact of this hero as we get later and later. Kaka does have the Sonic Wave stolen again, so they're on the lookout for a play with a smoke. And they do hit this scan.
IG. Gonna try and break the distance there up against Setsu. I believe JT has scouted it, and now, well, this Dream Coil does latch him in, but Setsu's just trying to go for a run. They'll lift him up. Still very, very tanky here, even with that Spirit Vessel. Setsu running away. Now the Ravage. He did Essence Ring before that Ravage came out. Setsu, he's still alive, just armor toggling his way to victory, but no. JT does finally secure the kill with the Gush. RNG maybe don't want to turn here. Emo, he jumps back in. Looks like they do find the Quap. Flyone will end up dying. Super even turning around for a Brain Sap, but he's going to die now. And RNG seems to be a bit of inconsistency with the decision making here. Do they want to go in? Do they want to not? And well, they lose more than they had to.
Man, Rubik did some big damage that fight. If you bring up the recap, these constant steals from Kaka putting in work for his team, and well, not the biggest objectives to be claimed for IG, but they're out on the map. They're going to take all the farm out of the dire jungle, and it does seem like I should be able to grab this top tier 2 after all is said and done.
It's definitely good news here for IG. They'll fortify, but it's not going to make really that much of a difference. They'll fortify the creeps as well. Of course, you got the Greaves up now on JT to just keep them healed up, and immediately Emo just straight in onto that DK. Setsu is in trouble. They get the gush off. Now the Haunt coming in. They want to try and turn. Monet trying to go after Ollie. There's that Sonic Wave confirming the kill onto Emo. And now, well, jump up from Fly. He just wants out of here, but no. The Dragon Tail comes out, stopping the TP, and they do secure a 2-for-0 trade.
I don't think they can make that play without having Ravage. That's the big issue there. Just the difference between a fight where RNG have to respect the Ravage and where Ravage is down and they can just do whatever they want is night and day, right? You see IG make even a slightly aggressive move there, and the Haunt immediately comes out. Everybody just collapses on a hero, and other than the Ravage, there really isn't that much punish on IG for grouping up, right? Like, sure, Dream Coil is a little bit annoying, but you're not going to lose a fight if there's no Ravage to a multi-man coil.
Yeah,
and now
enough.
the Diffusal's up in the spec.
And this is when Monet actually has some serious damage to pump out on the Spectre. In fact, speaking of Emo, he'll just orb himself out of there. Did have his whole team behind him, but they just weren't willing to take the fight right now. IG probably still feeling the pressure to keep this aggression up. They've got that Ravage available now as well. Matter of how they initiate without a smoke being available, but it looks like Ollie is holding one. They might go again. Super in September, they are in the Radiant jungle right now as well, just kind of chilling out there and farming up. IG just waiting for Fly, it seems. No, they'll hold out on the smoke. They're going to go for the kill, perhaps onto Super there, taking the outpost. He'll be out of there as well.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for them to defend their territory at the moment, because I would say that the lane shove on RNG is just a little better. Kind of all 3 of their cores are capable of quickly shoving lanes and then going off and doing something else. Whereas on IG, the tide is pretty quick, the puck is really good, but overall, when it comes to the lane control game, RNG just kind of always have that edge. Now they're smoked up.
They have. RNG, can they make something happen out of this? That double damage has been bottled up there by Setsu. It could be a big deal here in this team fight. Ollie just going to get jumped on, and it's not really the biggest kill in the world, but it's still a kill. And now, Fiend's Grip. They caught the Rubik. Kaka does go down, and now they rush for the Roshan pip, but there's nothing there yet.
I think September on that Enchantress kill is like, please, guys, just let me get this auto attack off. I've only got 15 death pack damage. Let me get this here. So at least he participated in the Rubik kill. But...
top lane, Emo. Pretty deep. Orb out. Setsu was waiting. He had the Lincolns though. However, Haunt, no. Dragon Tail they'll commit, and oh boy, Emo maybe putting a bit too much faith in that Blink Dagger Lincolns.
Yeah, very nice use of the Heaven's Halberd on Setsu, and then they make the immediate call that he's trying to TP out with the... Just use the Haunt to get the vision, and easy peasy. And now the Roshan is up. I don't know if they can... Are they going to try and go for this right away?
You'd think they might try without the puck there, but it's a matter of whether they actually have the damage. Like, they do have the Deso Medallion up on September.
Oh, they've got the damage for sure, but I think it's just there's this risk of, like... It's very unlikely that Puck has buyback, because you've seen that just picked up the Lincoln Sphere, but it could also be throwing the game to try and take the Roshan there, because you're just inviting IG to come over and then take a messy fight with the Ravage, and then who knows who's going to get what out of the Roshan pit.
That's fair enough. They do scan out JT in that Roshan at the moment as well, so now RNG might be able to take the team fight they actually want, which is to kind of counter this Roshan play from IG. JT's also got a Deso up, so they do it a lot faster than they should be able to, and well, Sonic Wave going to be committed straight away by Flywind. Now they'll jump in. Super, he's going to be in trouble. He does get bursted down. Now Setsu jumping in with his own BKB. Ravage is amazing on 3 heroes, but there's no follow-up to it. Now Ollie going to go down on that Enchantress, and a Dragon Tail stun coming out on JT. He should be able to get out of there. And Ollie will be forced to buy back. RNG now looking to maybe reset and be prepared for the next engagement at this Roshan.
Yeah, I'm just quickly checking over the cooldowns now. So we've still got Dragon Form for a little bit. We've got Haunt coming back up in 10 seconds time. And yeah, of course, Ravage not there for a little while, but I guess IG feeling like, okay, we got to try and just force this. We really need this Roche for ourselves.
There's a Basher up now as well on the Spectre. So along with that Haunt, which he does commit straight away, it is a bit early, but it will give the vision they need. Now JT trying to take the front lines, but there's Setsu again, trying to dish out the damage. Now Monet as well, jumping into the back lines, trying to go after Kaka, but he's been lifted up and he's in big trouble right now. Firefly's got him in a corner. Fiend's Grip is there in time, but they will have the damage onto Monet, and now the Dream Core coming in. Firefly jumping back in, getting Nightmared up, but eventually has it taken off. Goes after Super and kills him off. The only man left right now is Setsu. You still have Flywind as well in the quad, but he's nowhere near the area. Setsu trying to TP out while armor toggling, but won't get that off either. So IG fighting a 4-for-1, and ultimately should be able to secure this Roshan.
Look, I really think that Kaka pulled off a pretty nice little bait there. Well, it's hard to say, but he moved far enough away from his team to sort of convince the Spectre that, oh, hey, maybe I can like jump in and quickly kill the Rubik before the team responds. And then the instant that the Haunt and the reality happened, he just force-staffed away. And suddenly Spectre was just in a super compromising position. The rest of the team has to try and come in and bail her out, and then IG easily win the fight off of the back of that, just being able to control this area around this high ground. And the spider legs coming in really big for Fly-Fi that fight, I think. Able to escape over the cliff right as he was about to die. And with that, IG taking a little bit of a lead back. Nicely executed fight, mostly.
I guess I have my question answered now as well from that draft when I asked why did they go for the Rubik with no real counter pick for that Rubik, but it's Kaka's just making so much happen.
Yeah, he has looked absolutely monstrous on this Rubik this game. He's having a heck of a performance.
Yeah.
And, you know, Flyfly's pretty scary now. He's got the full Satanic. He's rocking the Aegis. He's even picked up an Orb of Destruction. So, in a lot of these fights, he hasn't been able to commit. But now with the Satanic and the Aegis, we're going to see a lot more damage out of this Ursa.
Oh, poor old Super. Dagger does connect. He gets lifted up, and they're not going to put him on the cliff, but he's going to die anyway. And well, Fly now looking towards that DK mid, but of course he'll blink out, so Fly will just go straight after that tier 2 tower, and there's nothing to stop them. It seems as though RNG are just unwilling to fight at the moment.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to force out the lanes for the second. I mean, sure, they've got their cooldowns, but better to just defend the high ground and try and find some trades. Don't fight directly into the Aegis for the moment. Got a couple of items coming up as well, so it seems like Flywind maybe kind of giving up on the idea of finishing these full Greaves and is just going for a BKB. Same story for the Clinks, he's just going BKB. And Dragon Knight's already got his, of course, so he's now going back for a Silver Edge. I guess wanting to have the chance to pop the Tide without him being able to get the Ravage or anything off.
September. Blown up by Emo there. Again, Kaka just setting up for his team, and well, Emo, he does have the level 1 Dagon now, so you've got a bit more burst potential, especially for that Clinks. They seem to know Setsu's around the area somewhere, but they may not quite find him. He is hiding quite nicely in that tree line, and looks like he will be alright. But seems like RNG just need to kind of huddle up and just keep farming here. Like, Monet's still just trying to finish that Abyssal Blade off. He's very close now. Perhaps that's the item to change how this game's gone for RNG thus far.
Yeah, it is going to guarantee I guess especially the Rubik kill. Though Kaka does have a Ghost Scepter. So.
What? Top lane? Whoa. Setsu kills off Emo. And then the Haunt... Yeah, the Haunt was just to confirm the kill, I guess. Just in case he needed it. And now,
yeah, I think just to get the information on where the rest of the enemy team was as well.
they weren't around up top. They were pretty much all hanging down a bot, chasing down the other members of RNG, but they got away as well. Still good news for RNG at the very least, killing off that pesky puck by Emo and just buys them more space, I guess. It's,
and that kill pretty much just negates the Aegis at this point as well. Like the mid lane's gonna get shoved in, top lane's gonna get shoved in. IG might get a little bit more pressure, but you know RNG in a position to even try and punish if they can.
Nightmare gonna be there onto JT, and the jump in Dragon Tail onto Ollie again. It's going to be a slow process killing off Ollie, so they'll turn around now. Setsu, Sonic Wave going to come out from the high ground. Setsu's still just trying to walk away from all this, but now a double Dream Core coming out as Emo. He bought back, and he'll go straight after Super. There'll be the Fiend's Grip on Ollie, but he's going to die anyway on that Bane. Now September dies. And RNG still trying to run away here. Monet being chased up by Emo. Or he won't jaunt in. Instead, I thought there may have been a kill left over, but it seems like there is not. But, I'm not sure about that team fight, Basskip. Like, we saw the Fiend's Grip at the last second on that Enchantress. Is she really that big of a problem in these team fights?
I think what happened is the Bane saw how much damage the Dragon Knight took off of like the impetus shot and was like, uh oh, I gotta shut this down right now. So just immediately went for the Fiend's Grip. But yeah, weird team fight. So they actually ended up, Monet and September ended up chasing after the Rubik on the one side of the fight, and then he popped Ghost Scepter and like went to TP out. And then I think Kaka actually ended up canceling that TP and then just ran back into the fight anyway after they ran away, thinking that he was just gonna go all the way through with it. So yeah, I'm not sure about forcing that one. It made sense to kind of poke the puck to see if he had buyback, but now they're getting high grounded.
Yeah, I mean, JT's got the Deso up on the Tide, and he's got a Hyperstone up, so he's just whacking away at this tier 3 tower. And there's not really much they can do about it.
They've got Dragon Form in 15, and they do have Haunt, so...
Alright, see if they can make that work. Ravage is also up on JT. Kraken Shell kicking in. He does have a cheese to turn this if he does wish. Firefly will just jump in by himself after September, and he does get the kill on the Clinks. And with that, they'll continue securing that bottom racks. There's that Dragon Form coming out now, but JT is set up for a nice Ravage attempt. He will commit it, and it does connect onto 3 heroes, but more importantly, Monet will be the one to die on that Spectre. There'll be a buyback out from September, but Firefly keeps going forward. A great Fiend's Grip out will mean that Firefly will die, and now, well, perhaps they could try and turn this, but no. Fly1 will die on the Quap, and Super will also die on the Bane. Super gonna buy back as well immediately, just trying to punish back the side of IG, but they're willing to keep fighting here. They'll go back onto the DK. Setsu now just still trying to run away. That Glimmer Cape looks like it might save him, though no. Spirit Vessel out. He tries to run towards the fountain, but it just doesn't pan out. In fact, they want September as well. They connected the dust onto that Clinks, but he does manage to walk out of here. And JT, he started on the tier 4 towers, but they are going to go mid.
Tide is just huge. JT with the Deso and the AC, feeling like he's even bringing the items that it's contributing so much effective net worth to the Ursa in these fights. His damage is absolutely ridiculous with the Orb of Destruction, and Spectre just got melted. They tried to be cute. They tried to kind of kite out with the BKBs a little bit, but does seem like IG just going to end this game in one fell swoop right here. Yeah,
this game looks like it's just completely over. There's no GG call coming out. Maybe they just wait for the one last team fight there with Monet on the Spectre. Flying will pop his BKB going in. JT's out of there with the spider legs, and now Emo jumping into the back line. There's that Haunt coming out. Monet, he's going to try. They're onto Ollie again, but there's a 3-man Dream Coil there, and Ollie, I just don't think he cares if he dies like this. He's going to go for the TP. He gets nightmared up. But, I mean, there's 4 heroes around him, and it takes that long to kill him. And he's the pos 5.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken Megas, so I don't think he's really all that concerned. IG at this point could grind out another couple items if they really feel like they needed to. And I think this game ultimately, a lot of it comes down to that haunt play over by the pit. And Spectre just kind of going in a little bit too deep, not only dying yourself, but then also dragging a couple of your teammates into a pretty compromising position. And yeah, maybe a few little itemization things here and there as well. I'm wondering if Setsu maybe got a little greedy going for the Heaven's Halberd before going for the BKB, kind of costing him in a couple of these fights. The Vessel was just really shredding him. Looks like he might just be dead here.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to push out that mid wave, but Fiend's Grip's going to come out from Super. He'll have that cancelled immediately, and now, oh, Kaka, he steals the Fiend's Grip again, and there's the GG. They've had enough. Yeah. A Celebration Ravage out from JT. Flywin, can you at least survive before the game's over? Emo, not going to allow it, it seems, but it doesn't matter. The game has ended. That is game 1 in the books, and IG, to my surprise at least, do take somewhat of a dominant victory here up against RNG.
Yeah, so, well, it was close and close and close, and I think IG just made some nice moves, got some better usage out of their spells in team fights, and overall maybe just having the kind of stronger team fight as well. RNG really needing to find that single target initiation with the Dragon Tail or the Fiend's Grip, and IG much more able to just play as a ball and hope to find any like 2-man, 3-man Dream Coil. If they had the Ravage available, was pretty much fight over.
All right, well, with that, we're going to be back in about 10 minutes for game number 2 between IG and RNG. It is MLP Dota and Basskip, of course, and we'll be back in 10. We'll see.